Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome to the Word from SDB. This is your girl, Dr. Stephanie D. Barnes, CEO of C-Suite Women's Network, where I work with women and a few good men to help them to be the CEOs of their lives. And of course, being the CEO of your life means that you are making the decisions to create the life you desire and deserve. And so, of course, this is Black Friday, and I've been shopping from my bed. Not really. I ain't been shopping nothing. I have been chilling in my bed. I'm getting ready to go run in a little bit, but I did not want to get too far into the day without completing day 4 of the 4-part series, Who's at Your Table, being deliberate about who is feeding your mind. And of course, this is the bonnet and business version of the Word from SDB. And of course, the first 3 days we have talked about who is at your table. And of course, this is the Thanksgiving season, and we have been getting ready for the holidays, getting ready for family and friends. And on yesterday, we filled our bellies with all kinds of good things. But every day is important to really be thinking about how we are setting the tables for our lives. How are we influencing others, and how are we allowing others to influence us? So on day 1, we talked about the importance of making sure that the right people are at the table, at the grown folks table. And on day 2, we talked about those folks who need to get up from the grown folks table, move them to the kids table, don't even invite them to dinner at all. And on yesterday, which was apropos as you celebrated Thanksgiving, we talked about what are you going to feed people when they come to sit at your table, because not only do you want to be sure that your mind is being influenced, but that you are also influencing the minds of others in a positive way. So today I just want to talk about, Black CEO Friday, because of course Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving, and people are scrambling, fighting, doing all kind of stuff, going staying up late, getting up early to go and get the great sales. And of course, Black Friday itself represents the day in the year when most businesses go from red to black in terms of their revenues. So what we want to talk about are, are you really focusing on being in the black as it relates to your business, as it relates to your life, as it relates to your career? Are you setting the table such that you are going to generate the profits that you want to see in your life, whether that is literal profits in your bank account or the profits of what you want to reap from what you sow? So let's just kind of close this out by really thinking about, who's at our table, what are we feeding those who do sit down to our table, and what are we going to do? Because Black Friday, is all about action, activity. People out in the malls, they're online, they're doing all kinds of things to acquire stuff, right? So what I want you to focus on today, on this Black Friday, this Black CEO Friday, or CEO Black Friday, making decisions that are going to ensure that you have the right table, the right setting in order to generate the profits that you desire and deserve in your life. So I want you to just really think for a moment. We've talked about the people that you do want at your table. You want your cheerleaders, your counselors, your iron sharpeners, your sunshines, and I think that was it. All right. So those are the folks you want at your table, right? Then we talked about those folks that you don't want at your table. You don't want I said sunshine. You don't want the sunburns. You don't want the invalidators. You don't want the limitators. You don't want the spectators, right? Those are the folks that you do not want at your table. So also, you want to make sure that you are serving the right thing to the people when they do get to your table. You want to make sure that you're serving love, openness, honesty, authenticity, reciprocity, peace, inspiration, motivation, innovation, and compassionate confrontation. So now that you know what it is that you should be serving, who should be at your table and who should not, today, Black Friday, is a day of decisions. Because that's the thing that makes CEOs powerful, is their ability to make decisions, right? So when you know, knowledge creates a responsibility. Awareness creates a responsibility, because you know now who are the people who should be at your table. You know the people who should not be at your table, and you know what you should be serving, and of course what you should expect in return. So now what are you going to do about it? What actions are you going to take? So if on this Black Friday you are committed to taking action, I want you to put in the feed, I will take action. I will take action. Because remember, knowledge creates responsibility. Once you know what you are supposed to do, then you have a responsibility to act. We know that as the CEOs of our lives and of our businesses, we are defined by our actions. Our lives are the products of our choices. And the choice to act or not is the source of your power. So, what I want you to do is really think about, who is at your table right now. And if you got some time, why don't you just sit down and write that out? Write on a Post-it note. I love Post-it notes. If you got all right, Beryl is going to take action. Yes. So, write out on a piece of paper, who is at your table right now. I want you to literally think about the people, the major influences that are in your life right now. So that's the first thing, is to write down, and you need to write it out. Writing gives things significance, and it creates the ability for you to really see and not just, have to envision it in your mind. So write down who is at your table right now. And then I want you to think about, what role are these people? Are they iron sharpeners? Are they North Stars? That was the one I left out earlier. Do you have North Stars at your table? Cheerleaders, counselors? Do you have sunshines, right? So really think about, are these people in any of those roles? Or are they haters? Are they invalidators? Are they limitators? Are they spectators? And if they are, you need to be bold enough to write next to their name who they are. Because until you name it, you cannot act upon it. So you really need to really think about the people who are at your table, the people who are feeding your mind right now. Hey, Nisi, the people who are feeding your mind right now, are they feeding you stuff that's good for you, or are they feeding things that are going to destroy your vision and destroy your ability to move forward? So that's the first step, is to identify who is at your table right now. Write their names down, and then write next to them, are they a sunshine, a North Star, a cheerleader, a counselor, or a sunshine? Okay? And then, the really hard thing, write down, are they a hater, an invalidator, a limitator, or a spectator, or a sunburn? Okay? And the thing is, that doesn't make them good or bad. It just makes them who they are. And once you identify people for who they are, then you can begin to make decisions for yourself. You can't change the other person. You can change how you allow them to influence you. So that's the first thing, who is at your table. And then as you're doing that, you can then next identify, who do you need to add to your table and who needs to get up and leave. And the importance of writing the names down, and you might want to write this in your privacy, because they may be at the house with you right now. Okay? But, but the thing is, when you can see it for yourself and you can see, wow, Samantha is been my friend. She's been my friend since the 10th grade. We went to high school together. We went to college together. We live right next door to each other. But you know what? She's a hater. Okay, that's a very hard thing, a hard realization when somebody you love is in one of those negative spots. They're a hater, a limitator, a invalidator, a sunburn even. That is a very hard realization that you have to go through, but it is something that's really very important. And what it does is it empowers you to make choices, because then you can decide, all right, I know Samantha's a hater, but you know what? I can make a decision that either I'm going to get Samantha out of my life, or I'm going to begin, now that I know she's a hater, to counteract her hateful statements with something that allows me to keep focused. And that's, again, a choice that you have to make. Because I can't tell you, get rid of all your folks. I ain't going to tell you that, right? But what I am going to tell you are things that empower you to make good decisions. So that's the next thing, is, again, make decisions about what you're going to do. Determine who you need to add to your table. Do you need an influencer? Do you need a counselor? Do you need a sunshine? Do you need a North Star? Really think about, what do you need? And be deliberate about then creating relationships. Because remember what we've talked about, which was very important on yesterday, When you bring people to the table, you've got to feed them yourself, right? You can't expect to be fed and you won't offer anything to them. So really be thinking about, how are you going to create relationships? Okay? How are you going to create relationships to add value to your circle? What are you going to do? Who are you going to be to people? And that's something that as you're writing out this list, you write who they are to you, but really be honest and say, who are you to them? Are you a sunshine to a hater? Are you a hater to a sunshine? You know, because sometimes we can get like that. We can be around people who are just happy pappy all the time. They just so happy, and we get mad because they happy all the time, and then we start trying to pee on their parade. You know, we've got to stop doing it. We need to be really honest with ourselves about how are we to other people. Because remember, hurting people hurt others. And so another powerful way to do this exercise is to ask somebody, you know, explain to them, get them to watch the videos, tell them to go back and watch day 1 and day 2, and then get them to say, who am I to you? Who do you think I am to others? Because sometimes our mirror doesn't reflect the reality of who we are and how we show up to other people. Because sometimes we can try to what you call it, we try to sugarcoat the nastiness that we're giving to other people, right? We try to sugarcoat the fact that, you know what, I don't have any sunshines in my life because I'm not being a sunshine to anybody else. And, you know, we need to be counselors to others, because regardless of where you are in your life, you have something that you can add to other people's lives. And so are you actively committing to doing that? So that's something that I want you to put in the feed. You know, let me know, you know, if you are, which one of those roles are you to people? You know, are you a sunshine? Are you a counselor? Are you an iron sharpener? Are you a North Star to others? And, you know, this is something that's really important, because you may be in all 5 of those categories to somebody, to different people in your life. And it's really important for you to recognize that and continue to do more of it. So when people get to your circle, make sure that you're always adding value. And then here's the last thing is that, you know, you got to commit to actively and regularly cultivating your circle. Cultivating the relationships that you have with the people, and cultivating the environment that makes your table a table where people want to be. And it all begins with being deliberate and protecting your most precious asset, which is your mindset. Because it's hard to sit at a table when you want the riches of life and everyone at the table seated around you is focused on all the things that they don't have, and they're negative, and they have a pauper's mentality and shoot down every idea that you have. You may be very strong, but it is hard to exist in an environment where you're constantly having to fight against mindsets that are counter to yours. So protect your asset. Protect the most precious asset that you have, which is your mindset, which houses your vision. Your vision influences your thoughts create actions, and your actions create your future. So the thing to remember is this, you know, setting your table is selfish and should be selfish, and you should not feel bad at all about being selective about who you allow to sit at your table. You know, this is not a situation where you want to be just openly generous. Oh, if you want to come sit at my table, come sit with me. This is a situation where you want to be selective. Membership at your table ought to be a privilege, okay? Ought to be a privilege to those who are there. Many should be called, but not everybody should be chosen, all right? Remember that. Many may be called to sit at your table, but only a few should be chosen. And the same thing about you. Don't you go sitting at everybody's table. Be selective about the people to whom you are giving your influence, you know, and be thoughtful about it, so that you're just not popping up at tables that are counter to who you are, counter to your values, and tables that are going to diminish your quality of life. So, you know, the thing too to remember is this: you can outgrow a table. You know, the table you had last year may not be the table for where you're going next year. And you've got to have the courage and the ability to say, you know what? I love y'all. Y'all are a great table, but I need to go sit somewhere else. I need to go create another table yet somewhere else. And what you hopefully you've done is you've empowered that table to be able to thrive without you. And then they continue to grow, and others come in and come out. but don't be so committed to a table that you stagnate your own growth. Because if you are continuously growing, you should continuously outgrow the tables that you're at, and you move on, and and your relationships with people transform and transition to where you are in that season of your life. So the thing I just want to close out with you is this: not all good people are good for you. Remember that. Not all good people are good for you. And the converse is true. You can be a great person but not be good for someone else. And so we have to be deliberate about choosing tables that are good for us, good to us, and are going to put us in a position of growth rather than in a position of being stagnant. So if you have people with bad attitudes, a lack of vision, and a scarcity mentality, they're just not going to be good for you. I don't care what table you're sitting at. So you've got to be committed to recognizing the folks who don't need to be at your table, and recognizing that you have the power and you have the responsibility to ensure that everybody who is seated at your table is adding value to you, adding value to each other, and you are able to add value to them. So with this, I'm going to close out the series, Who's at Your Table, being deliberate about who is feeding your mind. And of course, since this is Black Friday, I've got something for you. So I have a series that's called Recognize the CEO in You. It's a 3-part webinar, and it's normally $97. And since today is Black Friday, I am offering it to you for $49. So for $49, you get a 3-part webinar where you will get very focused exercises, information, teaching, coaching from me on how to be a CEO and really getting your mindset ready for making the decisions that are going to create the life you desire and deserve. So all you have to do is go over to bit.ly/recognize the CEO. bit.ly/recognize the CEO, and the link is actually in the name of the the Facebook Live today, and go there and you can get that 3-part webinar series for only $49, and you can begin again making decisions that help you to create the life you desire and deserve. So I hope that you'll take advantage of that. It's not going to be offered at that price for too long, but today, and maybe throughout the rest of the month. I don't know. I'll make my mind up about it, but I do hope that you'll take advantage of that, because it has some very decisive guidance on helping you to get your mindset ready for being a CEO. Because everything that you do when you are making the decisions about who is going to be at your table, when you're making the decisions about who you're going to ask to get up from the table, all of that boils down to your mindset. And so if you are not a thinking like a CEO, then you'll take whoever you get at your table. So you're going to learn how to recognize your leadership skills, your CEO moves that you make every day. You'll learn how to identify the mindset traps that keep you from being a CEO. And then I'll share with you the habits that help you to create your CEO opportunities. Because truly you have the power to create the life you desire and deserve. Regardless of what situation you're in right now, you are never powerless, because you always have the power of choice. So with that, I do thank you for being a part of the Bonnets and Business series version of the Word from SDB. And I hope that you have enjoyed this 4-part series, Who's at Your Table? Who are you allowing to influence your mind? And then I also hope that you take advantage of this Black Friday special, where you can get the Recognize the CEO in You webinar series for only $49. So all you have to do is go to bit.ly, that's bit.ly/recognize the CEO. bit.ly/recognize the CEO, and you can sign up today to get the 3-part series Recognize the CEO in You for only $49. So I thank you so much for being a part of Who's at Your Table. being deliberate about who's feeding your mind. I hope that you've enjoyed all 4 parts. If you're just catching part 4 today, just go back to my feed and you can see the other 3 videos and get all of this great juicy information to help you create a table where you want to be seated, as well as where others can't wait to be seated because of the value that you add to others. So with that, I hope that you have a great Thanksgiving holiday. It has truly been my joy sharing this with you. I've been enjoying doing these things in my bonnets. I'll go back to combing my hair and actually putting on makeup and stuff and being cute next week. But you know what? I've been relaxing this week. This is a Thanksgiving holiday, and I have been taking advantage of it. And now I'm actually going to go run. I'll take my dog for a run today, and then enjoy the rest of my day. I'm going to travel to yet another location, going to Greenville, Mississippi, going to the Mississippi Delta to visit with my mom and my Aunt Cynthia. So I hope that y'all have a great day, and thank you so much. And remember, all good people are not good for you. You are the CEO of your life, so that means you have the power to make the decisions. Who has the privilege of sitting at your table? This is Dr. Stephanie D. Barnes with C-Suite Women's Network, where I help women and a few good men to be the CEOs of their lives. And remember, being the CEO of your life means you are making the decisions to create the life you desire and deserve. So thank you so much. See you next time. Have a great Black Friday. And I hope that you see an email confirmation saying that you have signed up for the Recognize the CEO in You webinar series. But thank you so much. Have a great day. And I'll see you next time when I bring you another version or another episode of the Word from SDB. See ya.